5 new Resonators are coming once we venture into Lahai Roi. Each one has something unique, maybe even something new to offer. So today, I want to walk you through these upcoming Resonators in a way that feels more like we're sitting down over coffee rather than me reading a list of features out loud. There's a lot to unpack, and the moment you start digging into their designs and implied mechanics, you start to realize Kuro is about to shift the meta again. The most exciting part? They're doing it with characters who actually feel connected, complementary, and thematically aligned. You don't get units designed this thoughtfully by accident. Yo, welcome back to the channel. Kamusta sanyong lahat? Let's begin with the 2 characters we now know are arriving right at the start of 3.0, Lynae and Mornye. They're stepping into the spotlight first, and the community is already buzzing about how their kits might interact with each other. It's rare to see 2 units introduced simultaneously with mechanics that seem almost tailor-made to intertwine. But that's exactly the impression Kuro is giving. And since it's the season of giving, Loot Bar is currently offering a massive Black Friday sale from November 25 to December 1 to everyone. Tap my link to avail of massive discounts of up to an additional 10% on top of all other offers. Talk about effect stacking and doubling your Loot Bar points. Yeah, don't miss out and join in on the celebrations. Loot Bar is trusted by the gaming community with high Trustpilot scores. Their DIY mobile top-up ensures you get these discounts without giving away your password. So yeah, check it out and click the link in my description and pinned comments. Now, back to the video. Lynae is shaping up to be one of those Resonators that instantly demands attention. Even though her exact element isn't officially confirmed in hard detail, the strongest speculation places her either in Havoc or Fusion. And the interesting thing is that both of these elements open wildly different possibilities for Lahai Roi's new combat gimmick. If she turns out to be Havoc, we may be looking at a unit who pairs with Chisa to create what I can only describe as a supportive super team. Imagine the synergy. Chisa's Electro rage mechanics, Lynae's Havoc extension, and a 3rd slot dedicated entirely to maximizing uptime. Suddenly, you have a comp that doesn't even care about doing damage directly because every debuff becomes a miniature landmine. But if Lynae is Fusion, things become even crazier. Fusion Burst has been quietly building its reputation as a deceptively powerful mechanic. It sits in the background, humming like a reactor. And when it's triggered, based on how much fusion damage is happening around it, the results speak for themselves. That is where Galbrina enters the picture. With her constant uptime and relentless output, she feels like the perfect partner for a new fusion-style support. Chang Li could work too, in theory, but her burst patterns don't hit the same sustained cadence that Fusion Burst thrives on. Lupa or Brandt might even outperform Galbrina depending on how their final kits shake out. But raw numbers don't lie. Right now, Galbrina slots into this hypothetical lineup almost too cleanly. Meanwhile, Mornye is stirring up an entirely different type of curiosity. Her Glacio alignment is heavily speculated, but what really sets her apart is her apparent connection to time and space manipulation. A healer who controls temporal flow and spatial distortion is not a concept you drop casually. If she can freeze time and apply negative status effects over wider zones, she instantly becomes one of the most novel support designs in the entire game. Her abilities could become the backbone of Lahai Roi's new gimmick, especially if the region really is taking negative status concepts and evolving them into something broader and more explosive. The idea that Lynae and Mornye are being designed to work together is fascinating. You can tell when Kuro wants a pair of characters to be narratively or mechanically intertwined, and everything about these 2 scream partnership. It reminds me of the way certain duos in earlier versions subtly enhanced each other without ever being explicitly labeled as duo units. It creates a natural team-building invitation. You don't feel forced into synergy. You feel rewarded for discovering it. But Lynae and Mornye aren't the only Resonators we need to talk about. The second batch of upcoming characters has its own kind of energy going on, and some of them might end up surprising people. Sagrika and Luke Herson appear to fall into the Electro category, and the moment that clicked, every Chisa enjoyer collectively sat up straight. If both of these characters end up being Electro Rage archetypes, suddenly Chisa's kit becomes even more relevant in a way nobody saw coming. Electro Rage has been one of the more mysterious mechanics in her design, hovering like an unanswered question. We know it's there, we know it matters, but what it actually does has been kept vague enough to spark endless speculation. Now, with two potential Electro Rage characters on the horizon, we might finally see that mechanic evolve beyond a footnote into something foundational. The idea that pairing Chisa with either Sagrika or Luke opens the door to new Electro-centered comps that don't rely solely on traditional DPS patterns. Instead, they might lean into a more unconventional playstyle involving energy manipulation, rapid trigger rage effects, or layered debuffs. The potential synergy is real, and the community is overdue for more Electro diversity. But the character who truly deserves the label of wildcard is Lucilla. She's rumored to be Spectro, and that alone puts her under a massive spotlight because Spectro teams have been dancing between quirky and inconsistent for months. Spectro Frazzle, in theory, should be one of the strongest negative status tools in the game. In practice, it's awkward. It's slow. It relies too heavily on characters like Phoebe, whose playstyle can be more exhausting than rewarding. And while Zani brings amazing potential to the table, she's chained to Phoebe in a way that doesn't feel healthy for the long-term meta. That's where Lucilla becomes the game changer. If she can stabilize Spectral Frazzle or amplify it into something more reliable, she instantly becomes the missing puzzle piece Spectro players have been begging for. She could lift Zani into the role she was always meant to play. She could make Phoebe feel like less of a mandatory cog and more like an optional enhancement. And if she somehow synergizes with Chisa's negative status extensions, we might see the first genuinely flexible Spectro support in the game. The hype around Lucilla isn't just real, it's loud. Even before her official reveal, people are already calling her the potential savior of the Spectral archetype. When a unit has this much expectation surrounding her before her animations even go public, you know she's occupying a unique space in the community's imagination. What excites me most about this entire cast is that they don't feel like standalone releases. They feel like pieces of a larger combat philosophy Kuro is rolling out for Lahai Roi. The region seems to be pushing negative status mechanics into more cohesive, more team-oriented, and more rewarding directions. Instead of simply applying debuffs and walking away, we may be entering an era where those debuffs interact, chain, trigger bursts, expand in radius, or weave into new archetypes. And honestly, that's the kind of innovation that keeps a game alive. Not just more characters, but characters who invite experimentation, characters who reshape team building, characters who feel like chapters in a bigger system rather than isolated power spikes. So, as we step closer to 3.0, the question isn't whether these resonators will be strong, it's how they will redefine what strength even looks like. Lynae might be the new backbone of fusion or havoc support. Mourne could rewrite how healers operate. Sagrika and Luke might finally unlock the secrets of Electro Rage. And Lucilla might be the Spectro miracle we've been praying for. Lahai Roi is shaping up to be one of the most transformative regions yet, and these new resonators are carrying that torch. Whatever happens, one thing is certain. The moment they arrive, the meta won't just shift, it's gonna ripple. If this video resonated with you, please leave a like and subscribe. Ring the bell for 1,000 points of gacha blessings and a free sandwich. Thank you so much for watching. Maraming salamat po. I will see you in my next video drop. Goodbye.